Hello everybody! So in this video I'm going to do the unboxing of my second Mac Mini. This was a little bit more money, but it was worth it. It's a newer model, as you can tell by this. The one I have down there is a previous model, if the camera would focus. Anyway, so here's why I bought it. When I used the old Mac Mini, I messed up on boot camp. So what happened was, when I messed up on boot camp, I accidentally deleted all the default Apple stuff. I couldn't get it back in, I couldn't get into the BIOS. So what I decided to do was buy another one. So basically I'll have one Apple computer running PC stuff to see how well it actually works. This one will be Mac stuff only. This new one has the Intel Core i5, so it's up to date. I need to know that. So I did buy this used, and what the previous owner did, which was actually really smart here, was he drilled holes in this plastic piece. Now, why would you do that? These have a tendency to get really hot, and you don't want to cook any of the parts. Because once you cook a chip, it's done. So I am going to hook this up, and we are going to boot it up. And as you can tell, this is a newer model because there is no DVD drive. So now I have two Mac Minis. One is the one I'm using just for PC stuff. I will try to figure out how to go to Mac stuff a little bit later, but I just want to learn the Mac OS X operating system, so that's why I'm just going to leave it the way it is for now. Okay, so I hooked everything up, and I'm going to power the computer on. So once I power this on, it's going to boot up like a regular Mac OS X and all that. It'll be a little bit quicker, but that's okay. So I'm going to power it on. They call that the bong sound. And since it's new, it'll be this. Now, what I did not use Boot Camp. I used the Boot Camp Assistant the wrong way. And basically, the computer is not bricked, but on the Mac side, I kind of bricked it because I can't go back for some reason, and I got to figure out why, and I'll do that later. Because you have to remember, I'm a PC guy. I'm not an Apple guy. So when this happens, it's like, oh boy. So this one will be a little bit better for me to learn Apple OS X on. All right. So we're at the startup here. And there's several different languages. There's English, there's Chinese, there's Korean, there's Japanese, there's all sorts of things. Sorts of languages, some languages I've never even heard of. And just like the other one, I am in the US. Actually, let me plug in the network cable here. This is all the wire, the Wi-Fi stuff. My dad is a Beatles fan, so that's why there's all of us. But I'm going to be using the hardline. I could set that up later. I'll set that up a little bit later. Alright, so there's a bit of an issue there, but that's fine. I'll go back. Now the Sonic the Hedgehog one is for this testing stuff. As you can tell, I'm a bit of a gamer. I'm not going to transfer any information because I did that on a previous video. I don't have to do that on this. You have to remember some of the stuff is the same from the iOS to Mac OS X. Some of the stuff is the same, so you will recognize the icons. Continue. I'm going to click Do Not Use. I'm not going to do that. We're going to skip that. You have to agree. I agree. So this one's going to be test. Oh. This came up a little bit differently. So now I'm going to create it. This is just like the other one. So technically, I have a Mac PC if you want to, for the other one. I'll change that later. And now we're setting up. Now this had a little more information than the other one did. And once again, I'm not using an Apple keyboard. Okay, so I'm going to click continue. You push Alt, which is the option key on a Mac keyboard, and that's how it identifies stuff. And the reason it's not identifying it is I have this plugged into a KVM switch and the KVM switch plugged into the computer. So if we go in here, everything is the same, the parental controls are the same. You have privacy and security, just you do File Vault, which is like a secure server type thing. You have firewall and you have privacy. So if we go to utilities, you have Boot Camp Assistant, which I am not touching on this machine. This utility, everything's the same. It's the same OS. So if we go to system information, it's the Intel Core i5, 2.3 gigahertz, which is pretty good. 4 gigs of memory. Okay, so now I have an Apple computer that's a true Apple computer here. The migration assistant still exists. The disk utility still exists. The Bluetooth dongle still exists, which I have a Bluetooth keyboard, which is what this black keyboard is here, and one of these days I'll do that. Set it up. So anyway, that is it for this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe.